Hello and welcome back to Talk of the Town. Simply put, Association Services, Inc. works with a full range of community types to balance homeowner and community association interests. Their services begin with a core foundation and can be custom tailored to your community's needs. Associations and residents alike look to Association Services Incorporated's value-added services, attention to detail, and local expertise for continuous community improvement. Here to explain in more detail the management service provided by Association Services is Laphanie Banks. Laphanie, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about Association Services, the actual business itself.
Okay, Association Services, we've been around for over 25 years. We are a part of a national company called Associa, and we have over 400 offices nationwide. We can manage all sorts of associations, from condominium, mixed-use, master-planned associations, high-rise luxury associations, mixed-use, community associations, adult associations, active adult associations. So we can manage all ranges.
What actual services does the association provide?
In terms of services, we provide guidance and advice to the boards and owners. We provide financial services, budgeting services, maintenance services. We oversee maintenance and special projects in the community. And overall, we just provide a good sense of community overall.
Who would come to you? I mean, I guess, would the actual board of a plantation come to you, or just tell me how that all works?
Yes, a lot of our business comes from the boards. We have boards that are interested in our services. They're interested in community association management. And we also get a lot of our business through referrals from attorneys, realtors, accountants. So anyone looking to have a community association managed would definitely come to us.
Okay. So how many associations would you say you manage in the area?
We manage over 100 associations in Hilton Head, Bluffton, Savannah, and Beaufort area.
Okay, so you actually encompass all of this low country area?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. And so why would a community, I guess, come to you or be interested in the actual association management firm?
I think really it all boils down to trust. Homeowners vote in boards, of course, because they trust them to take care of the association. And of course, boards trust their homeowner management team to ensure that they're fulfilling the needs of the community association. You have a lot of boards that come on board and really don't have any association management experience, whereas being a board member is very noble. However, they find very, very quickly that being on a board, there's a lot of decisions that don't really have any clear-cut solutions.
Right.
Not only that, but when you're kind of put in a position where you have to issue a violation or something to your next-door neighbor, or kind of in the middle of a dispute between neighbors and you live right there, it kind of makes it awkward, as my 5-year-old would say. Yeah. So it makes it, they find that it's very, very time-consuming, balancing home life, work life, business life, and also managing an association. So that's where association management companies come into play. It helps boards be a lot more balanced in what they do. It also puts the onus on a third party to have to professionally deal with those types of issues so they don't have to.
Exactly, which is very important, I think, is just to take away that familiarity.
Yes.
So what have you found to be the best practices for the boards?
Best practices for board members is definitely lead from an area of fiduciary responsibility. And what I mean by that is, as a board member, your first responsibility is to do everything you can to do what's in the best interest of that community. Secondly, you want to lead with a plan. You want to work with your community manager to ensure that community has a plan that the boards can kind of stick by and lead by. In addition to that, boards should always come prepared to their board meetings. Board meetings are basically the brain power of the whole association, and that's where important decisions are made. Right. I know we personally always provide board packages in advance of our meetings. So as a board member, you want to read through your materials, you want to jot down some questions that you want to ask at your meeting so you come well prepared and you can optimize the time while you're there. And lastly, I would say that boards should always be very, 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 very open and have great communication with the homeowners. You want to lead your board in transparency. You want homeowners to have a voice with you.
Right. So if a community has a board, the board hires the association as for their management services. So say they're at a meeting of some sort for the community, you are basically I guess keeping everything kind of within a range, so that people know how to react to certain things. I mean, I guess you kind of rally them in.
Yes, we do. And in essence, the key thing with the community management is every association has what's called governing documents.
Okay.
The governing documents, whether it's the master deed, the covenants, the bylaws, govern what homeowners can and cannot do, what they can and cannot have. In essence, when a homeowner purchases in a development that has an association, basically what they're doing is, I'm agreeing to live with you a certain way at a certain standard in this development.
Okay.
That's my agreement I have as a co-owner and as another owner in the community. So it's my job as a manager to work with that board to ensure that the standards of that community is met.
What questions should that person ask the homeowner that may be buying into a community with an association?
That is a very, very good question, because believe it or not, 80% of most new developments are developed in a community association. And as a new buyer, the new buyer is definitely going to want to look at three key things in a community. You're going to want to look at the financials. Is that community financially stable? You may look at it and think, hey, this is great. They have really, really cheap association fees, but sometimes you get what you pay for. Is that association collecting enough money in reserves? Are they funding all the common area maintenance? Has there been a whole bunch of special assessments there? Because you'd hate to buy in a community where nothing is being taken care of and now all of a sudden you have a $1,000 special assessment. That's the first thing. Second thing is, you're definitely going to want to have to read through the governing documents we talked about earlier. You're going to want to know what you can and cannot do and really what you're signing up for. If I was a landscaper and I had a whole bunch of trucks and vans and all sorts of materials like that, I wouldn't particularly buy an association that restricts those types of things. So always know what you're signing up for. And lastly, the other thing you're going to want to do as a buyer is you're going to want to ride through the community. You want to get a feel for the community. You want to know if the covenants are being enforced. You want to know if there's violations, if there's children and dogs and basketball hoops. If I'm maybe perhaps an older person and I want to kind of go someplace quiet, if I ride through this development, I may not want to purchase there if the feel of it is not that of a quiet neighborhood.
Sure. Laphanie, really great information, and I thank you so much for joining us today. So if anyone has questions, all your information is on the TV screen, so they can get a hold of you. And thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for joining us on today's Talk of the Town.